Hi, I have not made any videos and have not streamed for some time. Thing is that I was a little bit sick. And even then, when I got better, I still was low on energy for some time. But that does not mean that I was doing nothing. And today I wanted to share with you something like a devlog for a thing that I was working on. It's the same thing at which I streamed about last time when I did a video, which is a video editor that uses Whisper on the web and FFmpeg through WebAssembly so that locally, without upload to the server, you can transcribe uploaded video, use the transcription to edit and cut it with FFmpeg and export. Everything without uploading to the server. So this is what I was working on, and I wanted to show you where we stopped last time, what I did since, what I learned, and what I'm doing next. Let's begin. So last time on a stream in CodePen, I used Transformers.js to load a Whisper model in a browser, allow you to pick a video, see a video, push a transcribe button, get a transcription. UI was very barebone, but it worked. There was still a lot of things to do, and I wanted to merge it with the code I had before that allowed to edit using transcription. What did I do since? I've updated UI and UX, I improved things around transcription, I added FFmpeg and ability to export. Let's do a demo. Here it is. UI looks a little bit better. You can choose a video. Yeah, maybe this one. You can see that it almost instantly loaded a transcript. The reason it did that is because now I cache. You can see that there are 7 kilobytes of transcript saved in cache. You can also choose the models with which you transcribe. I can pick like a tiny model and it will transcribe again. Even though it's tiny, it's not exactly instant. I do want to add progress. So yeah, you can see it transcribed using a tiny model. Let's switch back to base. Again, switching instant because it was already done and cached. You can press this button to remove and transcribe again. That's about transcriptions. I've added a choice. There are some models that are English only, others are multi-language, so you can try multi-language. I also combined it with the UI down here. What is that UI? That's words. Why do they have different size? Well, you can turn it off and just see it as text. Empty blocks is where there is a block of silence. And when this thing, which is by default turned on, is checked, it actually gives words different size. Let's actually play a video and see why this first what is so big. What you will need to do then, so what you saw was that there was a lot of silence, and Whisper by default sometimes combines silence with words, so they are big. So what is big, again, is big. As you play the video, it will show in green where you are currently, and what you can do here, you can remove. For example, let's remove what, and try to play from the start. What you will need to do then is to click on it again. And now you can see that we removed, but it was kind of not perfect in a sense that you could still hear what a bit. Let's try again. But it's not so long, like it's more like we removed the silence. What you will need to do then is you can see that but there was this what at the start. So the reason is that Whisper timestamps where the words are not perfect. So another thing I will need to do is editing this thing. Mostly that's it here. We can export. Give me a sec. I was thinking, whatever. Anyways, we removed what you will need to do. Let's remove then. You will need, yeah, actually, you will need to click on it again. Okay, let's export now. So now FFmpeg is actually redoing the video. You can see that it was pretty fast. I still need to add progress for this as well. And here the output. It should not contain words anymore for those parts. Let's give it a try. But you will need to click on it again. So you still hear what a little bit, but you will need to click on it again. There is no to do then is, and what is almost cut out. So basically that's where it is. There are some things to improve, and that is what I will be working on next. Let's see. So that's the progress. Let's go through some things that I learned. About Whisper. Well, first thing is that I do have a bigger, better model there, which is already becoming kind of big. You will need to download 782 megabytes. But what's worse is it's actually not working. There are even larger models, I didn't even add them. So when you try to use that, this is the error you're gonna get. Confusing. Checking the forums, I found out that it is about out of memory. And the reason is that Whisper in this library currently works on CPU. It's kind of good. That means it's gonna work on old machines, on phones and so on. But it's also slow, and there is this memory thingy where it runs out of memory when using larger models. There is a solution to that. Creators of the library are working on support for a WebGPU, and there is already experimental branch for Whisper, where it will use GPU, which helps with the memory question as well, plus it's faster. I will need to switch to that eventually. For now, this is experimental branch. Then, progress bars. As I was showing you a demo, I did mention needing to add progress bars. I already added progress for Whisper, but it doesn't exactly work because I made a mistake. I am transcribing on CPU in the main thread, which means the UI is blocked and you don't see the progress anyways, even though it tries to render it. Solution there is to move to WebWorker. So that's one thing that I will need to do next. FFmpeg. Well, one thing about it is that when encoding in WebAssembly, it's pretty slow. It's only 4 frames per second. For something like a minute-long video, it is encoding and transcoding for something like 10 minutes. But during the demo, you didn't saw that because I am not encoding. I am just cutting and piecing together things. There are some pros and cons to that. Maybe you noticed that video felt a little bit weirdly cut. Maybe I will need to switch to transcoding and encoding instead. And one solution is multithreading. FFmpeg in WebAssembly allows multithreading, and for 1 minute long video, it took something like 140 seconds to transcode using 3 threads. One thing I will need to experiment if I will be using encoding and transcoding is, instead of just cutting, will be to try to use multithreading. That's it from learnings that I wanted to share. On my side, things I want to do next is WebWorkers for Whisper and show progress, improve UI UX more, because there are a bunch of problems here. I also want to add editing. Remember, Whisper is not precise. I want the ability to slightly nag things a bit so that cutting is better and you don't hear some ending of words that overlapped between two words. I was also playing with how to name it. I decided to stop at the video chop chop. I was thinking how to name it. I mean, it's about cutting and extracting videos, so it's like cutting, chopping. All right, chop chop. It means do something fast. Perfect. Cutting, chopping, fast. Video chop chop. Decided to call it this way. And I was playing with logos as well. I've generated a bunch, was brainstorming, and I think I will gonna stop at the logo in the middle of the second layer. But if you like any of these logos more, leave a comment down there. That's mostly everything I wanted to share with you today. If you're interested where it's going, subscribe, like this video. I hope I will share next week where I am with this. Thank you and see you then.